so many updates. I don't know where to start. Literally, I'm trying to contain my excitement for the many things that have been happening in the past few months. Well, for one, we just came back from Cannes. We did some international marketing there. We attended as a booth, as a Philippine booth at the MidCom Festival. This is the International Creative Content Market. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. But I'll go on without the slides. So we had a booth for the very first time as a country. This was supported by the DICT, the newly put together department, appointed department, which is a department of IT and communications technology. They were supported by us mainly, but also we were supported by the PTIC in France, and also from the DFA office, also in Paris. So, prior to going out of the country, in the past few months, we've been going on road shows with the DICT. We first went to Dipolog, and then we went to Legazpi City. And this is going to cities which have been emerging for IT. Sorry, I can't remember. Next wave cities. Sorry. All right. So as I was talking about MidCom earlier, we were graciously visited by the ambassador, Lazaro, our ambassador our ambassador of the Philippines to France. That means that we're getting more support, more attention as a creative industry, as an animation industry who very well have equal footing with the other markets who were present there. Not only markets, not only our neighboring countries in Asia, but also other countries from Eastern Europe. Okay, so when we were there, being there means having presence in the market. And for the first time they said, how come it took so long for the Philippines? And we're so glad the Philippines is here. And they found out that we have been developing our creative content. Not only have we been doing animation services, but also that we have been quietly and ever so surely developing creative content. One of the 8 companies that came out with us was ASI or Synergy. They brought with them Barangay 143, which is an anime series about basketball, and there was so much attention to it. People came by and wanted to talk about it, and they were represented there. So these are the representatives meeting with the organizers of MidCom and talking about how we can have a bigger presence in the next few years. These are press releases about it. This is also, we did mention that Mr. Martin Malcalintal present today. This has been a product from years of talking, getting support from the French embassy, and years of talking to schools in France, in organizations that are our equivalent of ACI in France. And so I think we're just at the very start of what may happen and what can happen. Because one of the things that happened before going to MidCom was a meeting with Shed. So we all know that we just launched the K-12 program. And prior to leaving, our talk with Shed was how we can help our teachers who will be displaced in the next 2 years get a higher education in animation, masters in animation, all the way to even a PhD in animation in France, possibly. because they have funding for this, about 35,000 euros per teacher from CHED, and that's not mentioning also the kind of participation that we could get from the participating partner schools in France. So about the details on that, we will tell you more later on. We will be sending out an announcement on how to apply for this funding, how to help the schools and teachers apply for this kind of funding. Animahinasyon, as we all know, is our annual event. And this year is a milestone because we're celebrating our 10th year. And it's not just a matter of reaching a number. We've seen all the entries. The deadline was last October 7th. So we've seen all the entries. We've had a first screening. And the entries have been improving for the last 10 years. So we're very excited for you to be able to see the finalists this coming Animahinasyon, which is on November 22 to the 26th. We had our press launch. When we had our press launch just earlier this month, we had with us the commercial attaché of the Embassy of Spain, and also Mr. Macalental. This is because one of our major partners for this year is the Bridging the Gap program animation lab, which is done in Valencia every year. It's a workshop. It's a program where for one whole week, potential producers, animators who would like to develop their original content are given a workshop on how to pitch, how to present their concept to different kinds of audiences, such as producers or partners or network distribution channels. So we're bringing in this program for the very first time here in Asia. So they're launching it here in Asia for the very first time through us in the Philippines. They chose the Philippines as a strategic location to do this launch. Actually, this year's batch, which was done in Valencia last July, we had for the very first time 2 Filipinas to be qualified for the program. They will be at Animahinasyon to talk about their experience as well. So they're bringing like a preview of what this 1 week seminar is all about. So they're bringing in 4 speakers who will be briefing us on what happens in that 1 week. So hopefully we'll have more applicants from the Philippines to join the workshop next year and the next coming years. And that's also because they want to help us develop our original content. So other speakers that we have for Animahinasyon this year are Miss Adele Buena. She's coming from Square Enix from Japan. One of her past works is doing environmental art for Final Fantasy 15. That's just one of them. So our 3 days of talks and workshops are going to be full packed. And then there are 2 days of screening for films from Spain, from France, also our finalists, and a compilation of our last 10 years. What's also important is that we're also showing the Doodles and Pixels, which is coming from Spain. It's the retrospective of the 100 years of animation from Spain. And this is only the 3rd screening outside, actually internationally. And this is coming from, previous to the Philippines, it came from the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art in New York. So these are just some of the things that we have for Animahinasyon. So these are some of the speakers from the US, Ms. Adele Buena from Japan, Mr. Hong Lee, Riot Games, I'm sure we're all familiar with that. Okay, so these are the speakers coming from the Bridging the Gap program. If you know Pocoyo, the animation cartoon, he's the creator of Pocoyo. it was based from his own sons. So he will be coming too. The whole second day of Anima Hinasyon on November 23 is dedicated for the Virginia Gap program. And then on the 25th, the Friday of that week, there'll be a workshop for those who are very interested in applying for the program. So it'll be a more intimate conversation with the speakers. What I haven't mentioned is our theme for this year is connecting stories. So that's why we have, it's a whole tapestry of influences of what have made our animation art what it is right now. So that's why we have foreign guests as well as Filipinos who have been doing well outside of the Philippines. Okay, now for sponsors. Also, what has been happening for the past few months and what we can look forward to are smaller workshops, more intimate, more educational. It's more of the idea of the animation fusion workshops is a way of hand-holding, helping young artists or young studios develop their studios, like our conversation earlier, sir. We'd like to be able to assist artists who are thinking of putting up their own studios, what they need, what can they expect, what do they go to 2D, to 3D, what's the landscape like for that. So these are the kind of questions that we'd like to help answer for you. We may not have the answers right away, but we'd like to help you find those answers together. So the next Animation Fusion is going to be within the week of Anima Hinasyon. The one I was speaking about, the Friday of that week, there will be within an event within the event. This was our first Animation Fusion, and the topic was how to put up your own studio. So we had 3 speakers who have had their experiences of putting up their own studio. In the picture is our Vice President, Ms. Grace Di Maranan, who is running Top Peg. So for the past few years successfully, she had told us her story of how it started from the very beginning. Well, that's why we're here today, is because of the roadmap. So hopefully it will put meaning to all the efforts that we've been doing the past few years, the past few months, and what we'll be doing in the next in the next few years.